afternoon to all the NEET aspirants 2026. This is your Prasanna Ma'am from NEET World, and here we are to discuss the questions on respiration in plants in our 1000 questionnaire sessions. Okay, so before entering into the question practice, let me give you a brief intro about NEET World special programs. For 11th standard students, we have NEET World's 2 Step to Medicine, and for 12th standard students, we have NEET World's 1 Step to Medicine. For long term students, we have NEET World's Power Step to Medicine, where the fee is very minimal of 3333 per month beta for any of the course, with complete lecture content, 2 master revision programs and complete study materials completely. It is the same fee. Okay. To know more about these courses or programs, you can call on to the given number or directly visit the branch which is in Narayanguda, Hyderabad. So yes, let's get started with the questionnaire. We have already practiced a few questions on glycolysis. This is the continuation of the questions, especially from the concept of glycolysis. So as I have explained you the complete process of glycolysis, energetics previously in this class only, this is a continuation of that. We will directly look into the questions. Select the wrong statement with respect to glycolysis, he is asking. Look into the statements once. This is very simple question. It occurs inside the mitochondria. Wrong, because this occurs where? Inside the cytoplasm, be it aerobic or anaerobic respiration. Glycolysis is the common pathway which occurs where? Inside the cytoplasm of the cell. It is an anaerobic phase. No, it is both in the anaerobic phase and aerobic phase. Glucose undergoes partial oxidation to form 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. This is true only. And glucose is phosphorylated to glucose 6-phosphate by isomerase enzyme. Yes, isomerase enzyme is wrong. Okay. Glucose is phosphorylated to glucose 6-phosphate by what enzyme? Hexokinase enzyme. Hexokinase. Okay, so this is also wrong. Select the wrong statements with respect to glycolysis. I think I didn't give you the combination of the statements, but the combination of the statements will be A is wrong and B will be wrong, D also is wrong. So A, B, D, 3 of them are the wrong statements from this statement based question of glycolysis. And here you look into beta, this is from the bioenergetics of glycolysis. Okay. For 2 molecules of glucose, glycolysis uses and produces ATP molecules. How many ATP is it using and how many it is producing? Okay. We all know it is taking place where? Inside the cytoplasm, wherein where ATP is utilized at first and third steps, ATP is being utilized by glycolysis. Okay. So, first step, that is glucose to glucose 6-phosphate, and third step from fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. These 3 steps, these first and third step, how many ATP will be utilized? 2 ATP will be utilized per 1 glucose molecule, and where ATP is released at 7th and 10th step. 7th step per 1 glucose molecule, 2 ATP will be released. Okay. And 10th step, which is the last step of glycolysis, here also 2 ATP will be released. Clear beta? So, from one molecule of glucose, it is 2 ATP that are being utilized and 4 ATP that are being released into the cytoplasm. He is asking you for how many molecules? 2 molecules. Then what will be your answer? 4 ATP are utilized and 8 ATP will be released. What will be the answer over here, ma? What will be the answer? A. Okay, clear? Good afternoon, Rajnikant. Someone. Glyceraldehyde phosphate is oxidized in glycolysis. What is the fate of hydrogen atom and electron liberated by they cause? Okay. So, here is a step wherein from glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, what is formed, ma? 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid is formed. This is the 6th step, okay, in the energy payoff phase. Last 5 steps are there, no? This is the 6th step. In this 6th step, what happens is, from this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, whatever protons, those are H plus ions and electrons are there, those are consumed by what beta? NAD plus. They are consumed by NAD plus and they are released into what? NADH plus H plus. Fine. So, here what is happening? Reduction of NAD plus into NADH plus H plus and oxidation of this substrate. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is oxidized to what beta? 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. Clear, right ma? So, here you see what is happening, reduction of NAD plus and oxidation of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Remember that, okay? Look into this question ma. How many molecules of NADH are produced when 4 molecules of phosphoglyceraldehyde are converted to 4 molecules of pyruvate, okay? So, you listen, don't get confused here. From next 6th to 10th step the question is asked beta. At 6th step or at the 5th step you can see glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate or phosphoglyceraldehyde, one and the same, okay? From here to 10th step we will count it as how much? 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, no? Because from one glucose molecule he is asking you, okay? So, when it is for 2 glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate to 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, okay? How much ATP is released, how much NADH is asking, no? How many molecules of NADH are produced from 4 molecules of G3P. At 6th step, at this step, from 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, how many are produced? 2 NADH. Yes or no? From 4 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, how many NADH will be produced? 4 NADH. That's it. It is as simple as it is. Remember ma, okay? So, it is how many? 4 NADH. Simple ra. For one glucose molecule at 5th step you are getting 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate because one G3P, one DHAP, they will get isomerized. Okay, once G3P is ending to one molecule of pyruvate, again this DHAP will convert to G3P and it will continue. Okay, so we are counting it as 2 cycles. For one glucose molecule it will be 4 ATP released and 2 NADH will be released. Here he is asking you 4 molecules of phosphoglyceraldehyde, then it will be obviously 4 NADH. That's it. Okay. Next question. This you see ma. Which of the following is an important intermediate formed in all the types of respiration? This you will look, yes, this you will look into where is amphibolic pathway. Amphibolic pathway. Where in the beginning of the respiration in plants only we will be learning like what are the respiratory substrates? Fats, proteins, carbohydrates, all these are respiratory substrates. Carbohydrates are the most usual respiratory substrates. If we are taking proteins as respiratory substrate, protein is first deaminated, okay, deaminated to what ma? Amino acids. Okay, it is first deaminated to amino acids. This amino acids will join the aerobic respiration cycle at the last step of glycolysis either by forming pyruvic acid or it will enter as an intermediates of TCA cycle. Intermediates of TCA cycle. Fine. If fats are our respiratory substrates, okay, fats will be first break to what ma? Fatty acids. Very good. Fatty acids and glycerol. Fine. This glycerol will enter the cycle, glycolysis cycle at where? Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate step. Okay. So, for this also pyruvic acid will be common because pyruvic acid is at 10th step. Amino acids also are joining the aerobic respiration pathway at pyruvate or pyruvic acid. So, here what is the most important intermediate for any of the respiratory substrate? Pyruvic acid. But how? You have to know. Okay. Clear right with this question? No? Next you see. This one you look into beta. Ethanol is formed from acetaldehyde by an enzyme. Okay. First you tell me alcoholic fermentation occurs where? Where does alcoholic fermentation occur? Alcoholic fermentation. Inside the cytoplasm only, no beta? Okay, it occurs inside the cytoplasm only. Okay. Glycolysis occurs here only and after glycolysis pyruvic acid inside the cytoplasm. First, by the enzyme pyruvic acid decarboxylase, it gets converted into what? Acetaldehyde and carbon dioxide molecule will be released here. Alcoholic fermentation, and this acetaldehyde by the enzyme alcoholic dehydrogenase, very good, ethanol. Fine. So here what are the two enzymes that are being involved? This completely taking place where? In the cytoplasm only. Okay, where after glycolysis this pyruvic acid will be converted to acetaldehyde by the enzyme pyruvic acid decarboxylase, acetaldehyde and carbon dioxide will be released. This acetaldehyde by the enzyme alcoholic dehydrogenase, it forms at the end what? Ethanol. So at the end what products we are getting? Ethanol and carbon dioxide. How about energy? How about energy production in alcoholic fermentation? Alcoholic fermentation includes these three steps, glycolysis, conversion to acetaldehyde and lastly to ethanol. These three steps comes under what? Alcoholic fermentation. Occurs in cytoplasm. We got carbon dioxide and ethanol. How about the energy? Energy, the net ATP production in glycolysis is what? 2 ATP. Yes or no? 2 ATP is the net ATP of glycolysis. How about NADH that is produced? NADH that is produced is acting like an electron donor to this. Okay? And in this step NAD plus will be released. This will be served to accept the electrons from the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate in glycolysis. So here we are not counting NADH because NADH is utilized by this step and here NAD plus is utilized in glycolysis. Okay, so the net energy that is released in alcoholic fermentation is just 2 ATP. Clear, right, ma? So here coming back to the enzyme, ethanol is formed from acetaldehyde by the enzyme what? Alcoholic dehydrogenase. If the question is like acetaldehyde is formed from pyruvic acid by the enzyme pyruvic acid decarboxylase. Remember the enzymes now. Next, look into this question. During respiration in yeast, okay, in yeast conducts what respiration? Alcoholic fermentation only. What are the products that are formed? Of course, carbon dioxide, ethanol and the energy are the end products. What is the energy? It is just 2 ATP. Okay, so here B will be the right answer. Okay, next question. This you see, ma. Which stage is common for glycolysis and fermentation? You can say this. Just now we have seen which stage or which step is common for glycolysis and fermentation. Last step of glycolysis, no beta? Yes, last step of glycolysis, that is pyruvate, will be the last step of glycolysis and first step of fermentation. Okay, where pyruvate will be converted to acetaldehyde and then to ethanol. If it is lactic acid fermentation, pyruvate will be converted to lactate. Okay, this you see. Which of the following options does not hold good regarding anaerobic respiration or fermentation? Okay, the question is about which is not regarding anaerobic respiration and fermentation. This occurs inside the mitochondria? Wrong. Partial breakdown of glucose occurs? Yes. Net gain of ATP is only 2 ATP? True. None of this? No. So the right option is what? A. Simple, right? Such a type of questions also, if you are in hurry, such simple questions also, if you are hurry, then you can't answer. If you are in anxiety, you can't answer. Okay, you should be with a cool mind. Okay, then only you can focus on that question and you can answer. How much ever easy the question might be, just give 2 minutes for each and every question. Okay, at least 1 minute or 1.5 minutes you have to give for each and every question, how much ever simple it might be. Look into this question, ma. Study the given steps of glycolysis and identify the enzymes. What enzymes are there over here? This 1, 2 and 3. 3 enzymes are responsible for carrying out what steps he is asking. Look at here, glucose 6-phosphate to fructose 6-phosphate. First enzyme, isomerase enzyme. So we can mark this, right? Isomerase, and here phosphohexoisomerase. These two we can mark. Okay. Look at the second one, fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Our famous enzyme phosphofructokinase, which is the rate limiting step of the glycolysis, and this reaction is what? Irreversible step of glycolysis. Okay, this step will decide the frequency of glycolysis, on how fast it have to go and how slow it have to go. So here this is phosphofructokinase, this we can mark, and here we can cancel this option. Look at this last, fructose 1,6-bisphosphate to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Of course it is aldolase. And tell me what is one more product that is formed over? Very good, DHAP, dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Clear, right, ma? So here this option is A. Look at here, ma. This question you see, beta. What are the reasons why plants can get along without respiratory organs? Simple, this is from the introduction of the respiration in plants. Look into the statements properly. First one, each plant part takes care of its own gaseous exchange. There is very little transport of gases from one plant part to other. Right, no? Yes, true. Plants do not present great demands for gaseous exchange. Root, stem and leaves will respire at rates far lower than the animals do. Yes or no? This is because of what, you know? Because most of the plant body is composed of what type of permanent tissue, beta? Parenchyma. Parenchyma is having intercellular spaces, right? So those cells are what? Loosely arranged, so that gases can diffuse easily. That is one of the major reason. Okay. Next, the distance that gases must diffuse even in large bulky plants is not great. Yes or no? The distance that they can diffuse is not great. Okay. So this three options can be considered, 1, 2, 3. These are the direct lines of your NCERT. Okay. Look at here. Recognize the figure and find out the correct matching. So previously we got a flow chart based on the enzymes. Now it is about the substrates. See here, ma. Glucose to glucose 6-phosphate, then fructose 6-phosphate. Fructose to what? Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Look at here, A is where? Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. C. A is fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Anywhere here, beta? No. Here only we can identify. And next, fructose 1,6-bisphosphate to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Very good, DHAP. And this you see? 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. One more question from my end, as I have explained you the previous question. Here what is being oxidized and what is being reduced?
Is oxidized and
NAD plus is reduced to NADH plus H plus. Clear, right, ma? So here what will be the right answer? Once check it out, all the options, is that correct? B is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, D will be 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid, and C will be dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Correct, right?
Yes,
This question you see, ma. Pick the reaction of glycolysis where a water molecule is removed. In the 9th step of glycolysis, yes, 9th step of glycolysis, where 2-phosphoglycerate, 2-phosphoenol pyruvate, by what enzyme, ma? Did you remember the enzyme? No issues if you don't remember, I will tell you. Very good, enolase only, correct. Okay, satisfied? Next, look at this question. Phosphoglyceraldehyde is changed to 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid through what? 6th step, till now we have discussed, no? This is another angle of that question. Okay, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate to 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. So what is he asking for? Very good, Sanju, very good. So here phosphoglyceraldehyde is changed to 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. Phosphorylation how? Because here at 3rd carbon only phosphate group is there. Here phosphate group is added at the 1st carbon also. Clear, right? That is how phosphorylation is applicable. And here the protons whichever are there in this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate are taken by what? NAD plus, and that is how this is oxidized to what? 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. Clear, right, ma? So here phosphorylation and oxidation, option B will be the right answer. Good, impressive. This you see, the reaction forming 3-phosphoglyceric acid in glycolysis. See, 3-phosphoglyceric acid or phosphoglyceric acid, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, one and the same. The reaction forming 3-phosphoglyceric acid. See, look it, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate to 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. This changes to what? 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Yes or no? Okay. This 3-phosphoglyceric acid is what? Dephosphorylation, right? Here at first carbon and third carbon phosphate group is present, whereas from first carbon the phosphate group is removed. Then it is what? Dephosphorylation. So here the answer will be option C. Look at here, ma, this question you see. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is oxidized to 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid with. Most of the questions I have taken from this only. No issues, take your time and answer. Release of phosphate group, okay. Let me check it out. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is oxidized to 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid along with release, no, addition of phosphate group, no, but it is not release of phosphate group. ATP synthesis, no, there is no ATP synthesis. Release of electrons for reducing NAD plus. This also you see, release of protons and electrons for forming NADH. This will be correct. Always do remember, proton and electrons are thick friends. One cannot go without the other. Okay. So definitely proton and electron will be released by forming out what? NADH. These protons and electrons are consumed from where? Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Clear, right, ma? Next question you see. Which of the following are isomers? Which of the following are isomers? Simple question. Glucose and fructose. Then how about phosphoglyceraldehyde and DHAP? They are also isomers. How about these two? All are the isomers. Very good. Okay. That is why I am saying you, how much ever easy question might be, spend 1 minute, look into the other options also. Look at here, this question. At the end of glycolysis, X is net energy gain from one molecule of glucose. Okay. Net energy gain from one molecule of glucose means X will be how much, ma? 2 ATP. Very good. This you see, Y from one molecule of glucose via Y, but there is also energy stored in the form of Z. Okay. This 2 ATP are released where? In the 7th and 10th step. That 7th and 10th steps are said to be SLPs of glycolysis, substrate level phosphorylation, because phosphate group is taken from the substrate and ATP is formed. Okay. So it is via SLP, substrate level phosphorylation, but there is also energy stored in the form of Z. Z is what? NADH plus H plus. Now you tell me what is the option? Option D will be the right answer. Next question you see, beta. This one you see, again little tricky, but you can answer it easily. The balance sheet from ATP production in glycolysis has been given below. Select the option which correctly fills up the blanks P, Q, R and S. First you see this one. Glucose to glucose 6-phosphate. First step. How much ATP is utilized? 1 ATP is utilized. Is there any ATP product produced? 0 ATP is produced. Fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, third step of glycolysis. Here also 1 ATP is utilized. How much ATP production? 0 ATP production. 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid to phosphoglyceric acid. Seventh step. ATP is produced. How much? 2 ATP is produced. How much is utilized? 0. This you say 2-phosphoenol pyruvate to pyruvic acid, 10th step of glycolysis, again SLP. 2 ATP are produced and 0 are utilized. Now you tell me P is what? 1.
P1.
X is equal to Q. X is equal to Q. Can you accept that?
Yes.
X is equal to Q. And R will be 2.
2.
And S is equal to X or X is equal to Q. Anything is same.
Yes.
Can we consider this option?
Yes, ma'am.
Like this also questions will come. We can expect. Need not to get confused. First what you have to decode beta? This box you have to decode. Write it over here only. Then apply to the options and see. You can get it. Okay? This you see ma. Assertion and reason question. Last question for today's class. Glycolysis is the first step of respiration in which glucose completely breaks to carbon dioxide and water. Wrong. Glycolysis is said to be partial oxidation of glucose or incomplete oxidation of glucose, because glucose is converted to just 2 molecules of ATP, 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. There is no carbon dioxide and water evolving over here. So this is wrong. Okay. Again look into reason. In this process there is net gain of 2 molecules. There is net gain of 2 molecules of ATP. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So here what you have to choose? Assertion is wrong but reason is true. A is wrong and R is true. If assertion is true and reason is false. Option is not there. Assertion is false and reason is true. Let's go for option D. Okay? Yes. Good afternoon, Nandini. Let me sum up this session. You can carry on works. Let me sum up this session by giving you brief introduction about NEET World's special programs for 11th, 12th and for repeaters, where we have 3 special programs for you, 2 steps to medicine, 1 step to medicine and power step to medicine, with the minimal fee of 3333 per month. To know more about these details, you can call us to the given number or you can directly visit the branch which is in Narayanguda, Hyderabad. Lastly, Telegram group. The Telegram group is the best platform to all the students who want to do self-study or to all the students of the public platform, wherein in this Telegram group we will be allotting you the daily quizzes for botany, zoology, chemistry, physics and mathematics, and live class schedules, live YouTube class schedules will be updated for you. Free resources will be provided based on the questionnaires, and lastly one-on-one doubt solving sessions with faculties are provided. So ultimately NEET World will be your best destination for NEET, JEE, MCET or CUET entrances. To know about this special programs or NEET World, you can call to the number, and to log in the Telegram group you can directly scan this QR code or you can visit our official website and just download or log into the Telegram group. Thank you for today. We will meet you tomorrow again with the questionnaire session. Thank you.